Well, here we are again for another fun-filled time at Serendipity Forge. Got up this morning, had great hopes for today, planned to get a few knives done. But, like the best laid plans of mice and men, something had to throw a wrench in the works. In this case, it was a power hammer. So I spent a couple hours having to do some repairs on the power hammer. But, nonetheless, I did manage to get some blades done. A little bit of a slow start, but I caught up a little. Those blades are in the temper oven now, which is a long process. Takes about 8 hours if it's done correctly. So I don't have any finished blades today, maybe tomorrow. But I did make another video. There is no way, anybody that knows me knows there is no way I was going to let that sloppy work that I filmed yesterday be the only video on this channel for very long. So today we did it again, made another hook with my regular forging equipment, and we can see how that goes. And off we go. So here we are at the forge. Got my old anvil there. She's a Hay Budden, made back around 1900. My old favorite hammer, 3-pounder, bought by my son at a garage sale. You can see I've rounded one face. The other face is flat. And a pair of wolf jaw tongs. Those were store-bought. And today we're going to be working with a bit of 5/16 round stock, just like yesterday. A bit of rusty stock I had laying around. No need to use new stuff on a little demonstration. And this stock needs to be about 5.5, 6 inches long. There we go. How about that? Ready to go, 6-inch long piece, and in the fire. And we'll let it warm up. And out of the fire, and we'll start drawing out to a 4-sided point. Now I'm hitting with the hammer on top. The anvil's hitting back from the bottom. It's called rebound. A good anvil will do that for you. Helps save a lot of work. You can see how quick that draws out with a real anvil. Again, drawing it out to a 4-sided point, just like yesterday. And back in the fire. Now it's so thin at this point that it'll burn easy. So I got to keep track of it. Keep the anvil clean. Don't want to beat scale back into your work. A little more fine work on that point. Got to get it where it suits me. And then take the corners down. Just like yesterday, we go from square to octagon. Light blows, and that steel is not nearly as hot as the camera makes it look. We'll go back in and warm it up just a little bit. And out again, and now just light planishing blows. And I'm spinning the stock in my hand as I do that, and that's taking out all the hammer marks. Want a nice round, even finish. Don't want it completely smooth. I don't want it to look like it was machine made, but good enough. Just gotta keep working, keep it spinning, keep it moving. Otherwise you get flat spots trying to take out flat spots. Warm it up again. Heat up really quick now. Gotta be careful. And there we go. A little bit of brush to take the scale off. That's a butcher block brush. Fabulous for taking the scale off ironwork. And we'll start our curl on the end. Work it back, work that scroll. Got to keep the hammer moving, keep the steel moving. Be careful or you end up with a flat. Don't want a flat. If you buy a hook and it's got a flat spot in it, it wasn't made by a smith at a forge that knew what he was doing. warm it up again. Now, that's a little jig that I made to bend hooks with. For some reason, this camera is not gonna, doesn't appear that it's gonna pick it up. Ah, there we go. I did remember to move it. How about that? I'm not as dumb as I thought. Yes, I could bend it over the horn, but why bend it over the horn? And the camera drifted back down, and I didn't know it. And I'm not doing another take, so we can forget that. Suffice it to say that it goes on the hook jig, bent around. Doesn't quite suit me the way it is, so I'll go to the anvil, go to the horn of the anvil and just dress it up a little bit. And there we go. Even it up, make it pretty. Nice even bend. And turn it around and back in the fire. I decided to do something a little bit different this time, so I'm going to draw a point on the shank of the hook. A lot shorter point than I did for the end. Draw it out. Now this time I'm trying to only draw it more or less three-sided. You'll see why in a minute. There we go, even it up. Make sure everything's square, make sure everything's nice. I want my tapers to be the same on both sides. And back in the fire again. Almost done with this little project. Still gotta watch it. It will burn. And we're out of the fire. We'll come to the near side of the anvil, and with half face blows, I'm gonna set down the back just below where I drew out the point. Draw it out flat. Careful to make sure that the hook's perpendicular to the anvil face. Dress it up a little bit. And the whole thing goes back in the fire. Gonna warm the whole hook up at this point. And bring it out nice and warm. And just give it a good brush. Take off all the scale. Those butcher block brushes are amazing. They really had a nice finish. You can see that the bristles on that are so stiff, it's actually flaking off little bits of steel. That's what the spark's jumping on. Great thing. Only recently started using one. I always use the old wire brushes, the old welder's wire brushes, and they don't work nearly as good. And there we are. Pretty much done. All we've got to do is drill us a hole to mount it to the wall. And here, as if by magic, I've drilled the hole. And I've got out a can of boiled linseed oil. Just the thing for putting a little bit of finish on this hook. A little bit on a rag. Wipe it down. Man, I've got to do something different about the camera positioning. What you can't see at this point is my forge in the background, and that's really too bad. Live and learn. Do better next time. Sorry about that. I guess I should have had my videographer outside with me. But we're going to wipe that hook down, give it a decent coating. And we'll take the hook, and what you can't see is I'm just kind of holding it over the fire, letting the heat from the fire dry out and bake that boiled linseed oil on. Makes a nice forged blackened finish. Help make it rust proof. Help keep things a little cleaner. And there we go. All finished up. So if you watched yesterday's video, you could tell that today wasn't nearly as painful as yesterday's experience. And we got our finished product just the same. Little wall hook, like I said yesterday, if you want to be a knife maker, if you want to be a blacksmith, start with hooks. All the skills you need are right here in this one little item, and they sell very well. Now I did add the spade end on this one, 3/16 hole. Be just right to hang on the wall. Make a coat hook for your mom. Make a coat hook for your wife. It's almost Christmas. Go build a fire and sling a hammer.